Dear friends, we are back. Now, this time we have a very unique coach to share. And the introduction of this coach, I will share in just one line before I hand over. And this coach shared a line which stood out for me when I asked, how do I introduce you? The line goes as follows before I share the name. She is married to coaching. So now that's, I'm sure, got your attention. So with that, I'm handing over the stage to Miss Jaya Bhateja for her own self to share more on this line, married to coaching, and a little more about herself before we begin. Thank you very much for joining today, Jaya.
Thank you, Kiran. Thanks for inviting me to this forum. Feel very fortunate to be here. And when you say I'm married to coaching, that's literally how it is, because coaching is my life work. How I have changed my how coaching has changed my life, actually. How I got committed to really marry it and jump into it because I saw so much of power in that. And that's when I said, hey, if this can change me and it can change my life and my relationships, why not use this to support others? So that's why I say, so before I left my job, I was like for a couple of years just dating coaching to see, hey, is this the right match? Is this the career I want to be in? Is this really what, are we meant for each other? And yeah, that's where this phrase comes from, married to coaching.
Fabulous. Great. So I think with that, I would urge all the audience that we are in this episode, we have a lot to receive and benefit. And so I strongly recommend be all ears so you benefit from every question that we will cover, starting with the very first one. What is coaching to you?
What is coaching to me? Okay. So since I said it's my life work, I see coaching in three different lenses. So number one, the human evolution piece, and what I've realized over time after coaching myself and coaching others and getting coached for so many years is the ultimate purpose for all of us and whatever we are doing in this life is to get validation that we are worth it. Coaching is a structured process to get you there, to basically remove all kind of conditioning which is not true, get you to fight your fears, get you to remove all kind of biases that you hold for yourself and for others, and see life in a very simple way. That's a very human existential lens, and this is a deep realization after coaching so many people, after coaching myself. Hey, the real satisfaction or joy you get when you reach a place where you don't have to pretend anything, when you can live simply. So that's that lens. The second lens is the relationship lens. How do I we are all relational human beings, and coaching is a way to improve that field of relational intelligence, of that relational space, because we find ourselves in a better place when we have good relationships around, right? Whether it is with people you live in or whether it is your society or anyway, because ultimately we're looking for acceptance, right? So relationships gives us that acceptance. Coaching is a structured way, a very, I would say, very, very scientific way or neuroscientific way to get us there, to find harmony in our relationships. And the third lens is the career, right? Which we get paid for, is how do you become better than who you are? So the reason why coaching is leveraged for leaders more than anyone else is because there you need authenticity. You don't need talent as much. You don't need knowledge as much. You need authenticity, humility, and you want leaders to create a better relational space. You want them to be, when you say you want them to be influential, you want them to be more assertive, you want them to inspire people, it's all a relational space. So I'm seeing coaching in after so many years of reflection in these three lenses, that it helps us evolve as a be a better human being, get us the validation that we are worth it, help us settle down with ourselves. Number two, it helps our relationships, because again that's a part of validation we are all looking for. All the career stuff, all the position stuff, all the achievements and everything comes under this. And The last one is career piece, as to, how do you become better to create a better space for others. So when we are coaching leaders, it's more about, hey, how can you make others comfortable so that they can contribute best. That's how I look coaching. I'm not sure if it is a straightforward definition for you.
Think that's a rich and a lot of you can say knowledge and wisdom coming through. I'll not attempt to capture it because that's a lot, and it's I think best enjoyed by playing it back again. Though I say that, I'm tempted to just pick the words which stood out for me. It's a very deep response, to be very honest. Human evolution, you mentioned about ultimate purpose, and we are worthy of it. What we do, end of the day, we want to be worthy of it. And removing all types of conditioning, I think the line says it all. And seeing life in a simple way is genuinely beautiful. On the relationship lens, you mentioned who does not want to improve? People want acceptance, people want to improve every relationship, and you pointed out find harmony. The last one, career lens, becoming better than who we are. I ask one person who want to say no to it. And two keywords in that process you shared was authenticity and humility. For leaders is such an important thing, more than talent and skill set. So with that, we jump into the second question. Thanks a lot for the fabulous response and a great beginning. So the next one, who benefits from having a coach?
So I want to reframe the question. Say, who can benefit from having a coach?
Sure.
If we are open, every human being can. It's just that does it because it doesn't make financial sense to us in so many ways. For example, a woman who, or let's say, let me pick up a women example who's not earning will benefit from coaching, but she can't pay for it, right? So there are coaches who are ready to give pro bono work to them and they get benefited. So when the question is who can be benefited, everyone can be. It's just about, how open are we, how ready are we for the change, how how ready am I to take action to move forward. That's my response.
It's time, though a shorter response, it stood out very tall, so I was eager to speak at my opportunity. You know, I said, if open, I think that's a very powerful word, though only just two words, if open. I think if open, it's a possibility, and what can come out of it is nothing short of miracle. And if not, on the other end. And you also mentioned about women, a fabulous example you picked up. If she's not earning, she may not be in a position to pay for it. But you also in the same line mentioned how the pro bono work part. One line came to my mind while you shared, that is, when the student is ready, they say the guru or the teacher appears. It's, I think, proven time and again. When we go after what is important to us, all the limitations and roadblocks move away to provide the path for you. And I think that pretty much captures that. If you are serious about it, you will find it pro bono and many other ways. In fact, probably you'll end, they might, some of them might end up becoming a coaches for all you know.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So with that, let's move to the third one. The world is full of myths and coaching is no exception. One myth about coaching that you would like to blast today for our audience.
I think the biggest myth, and myth exists with people who have not experienced it. And one myth is it's like a lecture. Somebody's telling me what to do, and as an adult, we don't want that. It comes like, because coaching is leveraged in MBA preparations and all that. It comes like, oh, there'll be a curriculum, I'll be taught, and as an adult, we are averse of being taught. We don't like anybody to tell me what I need to do. I think that's the biggest one. And only people who go through it with a good coach can understand that it is not
So
telling you what to do.
I think, in fact, just yesterday I was speaking to a youngster who came for a career related thing, and I was offering, I can offer you coaching because it struck me after the initial simple conversation that I can offer coaching to you till the point you get your opportunity and you can pay me then. I could see a lot of curiosity from the individual, more interested in what help will I get. So the assumption and the belief is if I'm told what to do, and if I do, I'll get what I want. Rather than leveraging the immense resources within, many a time, unfortunately, for lack of belief and self-faith in themselves that they can do it. And then saying, I could still see the boy was hanging around. What help can I get? Rather than willing to explore the coaching space. So I think, yeah, you want to share something.
Yeah, I think that's not their fault because that's how our society has evolved us. That's how we have seen things. We have never seen anybody making us realize how much powerful we are. We have always been told things, we have always been instructed. So I don't blame them to be thinking like that because people again who has not experienced coaching will always take it like somebody will help me, and help itself is a very disempowering word for me.
So true. Great. So I think in the interest of time, let's jump to the next one. One coaching memory, I'm sure you have plenty, that you can share with the audience while taking care of the confidentiality part.
I think I remember my own coaching sessions with my coach. When I was learning coaching, I went through, I was in a very bad space when I entered coaching in my personal sphere. And those sessions with my coach has given me immense confidence about how, everything is in my hand and how am I stuck to my stands and egos. And I think that's very liberating, that those moments, those coaching sessions and those relationships have made me realize the power of coaching. So I think I always go back to them whenever I need power.
That I think that space of sharing something that is your own when you are the coachee, I think definitely comes closest, because while you are coach, you are with the coachee. But when you're talking about your own experience, I think it's powerful. And one line that stood out in this, which I think the audience should make note, I am already had made note over my journey as a coach, that everything is in my hands. Somehow that just looks not uh, digestible for many. The day they accept that everything is in your hand, it's just up to you, what you want to do about it. And then I think the entire game picture changes, transforms for them. And we see these examples, right? Yesterday, I think I'll point out an example of a lady who was a sweeper, is now a deputy collector or some kind of, just because she went through a downward spiral of mistreatment and so on. And that determination, I think here comes the line, everything is was in her hands, and a situation prodded her to come to that. And there are hundreds, thousands of such examples. So with that,
Yeah.
let's move to the next question, very important one. And a lot comes around the coaching as a space. Are credentials just a tag, or something more?
Good one. So that's how I used to think when I didn't go through the credential. And we always criticize the path we have not taken. That's a general human tendency, right? But what credentials have done to me, and I changed my opinion simply because I went through the process and realized, hey, it's not a tag because it is telling you to follow certain steps. It is telling you to work hard on yourself. It is telling you to prove your capability in a particular system. And if you are honest in that journey, then you realize that by the time you reach that so-called tag, you have evolved in your thinking, in your mindset, in your this thing. So for me, it's a very structured way of evolution if you follow it honestly. And people who tell me or ask me these questions are generally people who do not want to work hard, or sorry for that, but I think that somewhere it feels like too much of work for them. It just I don't know, because you can only say this when you have not gone through that past, and we always have biases towards things we have not done.
That opening line so much connected with me, and there's a living example on this side while you speak, is the first line what you shared. The criticism of the path not taken seems to, actually is a popular hobby for many. And then comes the structure part, which said, I was quickly trying to scribble what was coming to my mind, because I went through that same path, not a coach, to an ACC. And from ACC, I directly went on to complete the academic part of the PCC, but I can vouch for it. From zero to ACC was a big jump for me. And that academic as well as the rigor, and I think the method structure definitely shaped me. And then the PCC, I thought the class didn't teach me much, but I think it left the seeds that after that, the next 4, 6 months, in fact, transformed my way of coaching from what I was from ACC to PC. So I completely second that and vouch for that. Yes, going through the method and the process and the structure definitely gives you that momentum from where you can become probably your own coach of a kind and so on. But I think that will leave you rich and resourceful. That much I can share from my side. You want to share
Yeah,
something?
it also basically tests your commitment, right? How committed are you to this path? And we all know that till the time there is full commitment to any path that you choose, the results don't come. If
Absolutely.
I'm half committed, I cannot expect full results from it. And that's a conversation I do a lot of times with a lot of coaches, saying, hey, you want a lot of success without wanting to work on it. How does that work? How do you expect how results good results with a half baked effort and commitment? So I think my own journey teaches me so much about, hey, till the time you were not committing, you were judging. You were saying, hey, this is just a tag, nothing this and that. This is just a way for an organization to whatever. But no, it's really a lot of commitment. It is a lot of dedication and devotion to this path to say, hey, I'm committed to you because I somewhere trust that I'll earn it back.
Absolutely. At 350 odd hours of coaching, I can say clear yes for that because each coaching conversation, when it's an exchange, you're talking about 2 hours of commitment. It's very easy to feel tempted. Oh, it's Friday morning. What am I going to do? Getting up and getting into a coacharya or exchange kind of a conversation. But when you start doing, you fall in love with it. I think it's true about every trade. Same goes with coaching. I think for those, easiest way to probably connect with that maybe is that movie Bag Milka Bag. Watch it to realize when something becomes your life, in that space, everything changes. So with
Yeah.
that, it's a been an energetic conversation. So I'm actually feeling more energetic. The next question, one coach, there are many coaches, one coach who stands out for you.
Well, there's one coach that I've learned the most from is Chris Sheepshine. He's from UK, and I met him during while I was working for an organization as a coach. And my learnings with him has he's become an idol. Like whenever I have to think about how do I need to respond, I think about him, and I get an answer because the level of authenticity, level of the being, level of commitment, level of the competence in coaching was so effortless in that coach. It was so blended in his way of being that it inspires me. It still inspires me. I think of him whenever I need to take a decision or a stand or in a difficult situation in a coach. I think about how will he respond and I get an answer. So I'm very, very inspired by Chris.
Great. I will just share the name of the gentleman also here. I'll also try to learn more about him. And a few keywords what stood out was a repeat also from the previous questions was about the authenticity, the being, and at the same time being effortless. I think this reminds me of that line. Often they say, you can take someone where you have gone. I'm still yet to take the dive into get to know more about this, but it seems to be resonating. If you have gone there, you can, while the other coachee may choose to go there, you'll not probably take him there. You are a great companion while the coachee is walking in that path because you already traveled that distance. So I think that's for
Yeah,
some other day.
yeah,
For
you can
myself to learn. Yeah,
you
please.
can take them as deep as you have gone yourself, right? It's almost like scuba diving. If you haven't gone to 30 feet, how the hell do you take the other
So you see
people?
something floating else. Okay,
Oh
sorry
yeah,
for that.
yeah. Scuba comes very close to coaching to me.
Yeah. So with that, we come to the end of the questions, but there's a bonus one which you need to help the audience with. Given an opportunity, and as you are an MCC yourself, what is that one advice? Because coaching is a very deep subject. one do not want to just come in to test the waters. What is that one advice that you would like to give for all those who are considering the wannabe coaches?
Wannabe coaches. Okay. First, understand that this is not a factory to generate a lot of money. Uh, Coaching is a place for devotion, and it's a place for creating purpose. You can earn money if you work hard, but it's not like a easy career. I see a lot of people trying to get into coaching because they're fed up of their jobs and they want to get easy money, thinking that, hey, I'll do sessions and I'll charge high and then I'm done with it. But it takes a lot to be there. You can do that, but you need to be really patient. Coaching journey takes around 10 to 11 years of a good ripening process to get you that result that you have dreamt of. So have the patience to work on it, and coaching has to blend with who you are. If you're not ready to work on yourself and you just want to load all the coaching process and tools on your client, it doesn't work. It'll come and bite you back. It will come and bite you back because you'll not be authentic. You're just trying to apply what you have learned without being that person. So only if you are in a game of going through an adventure of life, going to being working on yourself, making your life better while supporting others, money will follow. But that cannot be the first thing, because it'll disappoint you in first 5 years if you come with that mindset.
I think it connects with me so deeply, the last part, what you are sharing. In any trade, it's striking my mind. You can be one thing in the trade or the sport, but you can be a different one outside it. But I think coaching, it's just not possible. I can sense it as you shared that. You have to be that one authentic self. If you're not that one authentic self, you want to change your quote or yourself as two different. As a coach, I'm this. Outside the coach, I'm as. I think it's a guaranteed failure for that person, and they will not be happy about it. So I think it's what is making me think about this is that in coaching you have to double down even harder because it's only one. It's easy, but when you become one. That's why I think you mentioned it's not a factory for making money. When you jump into it with authenticity, money is a byproduct, as the Amir Khan movie says. You just move on as a flow, and money may follow. But to most of the coaches, I saw that money really becomes at that point insignificant. It rather is their existence as a coach that matters to them more than anything else. And you pointed a key word, devotion. I would say into 100 times. If that comes to, I think for a coachee, they really will eventually, for the coach, they eventually become one of the best coaches. One you mentioned, as well as while you were mentioning about the money factory, it struck me a book that fascinates me so far. That's my best coach is Bill Campbell. Very interesting guy. The book is called $1 Trillion Coach, but I'm sure the title will make many people read, and definitely the coaches who wants to make a lot of money. But once they read the book, I can say they will realize money was never a motivation for Bill Campbell. He coached, just FIA for those who do not know, Steve Jobs, Eric Schmidt. So you're talking about Apple and Google leadership was coached by this gentleman who was not known to anyone. So that's just stitched back to the previous one. So thanks a lot for
Yeah.
that. Yeah, please. You're
I,
sharing.
I also would like to say that coaching is not a role. The problem with a lot of people is that they think that they can, as you said, you can wear a coat and take it off. It's not like that. It's changing your skin versus wearing a costume. You're not wearing a costume being a coach. You're basically changing the quality of your skin and your blood and everything that moves with you. It's not about taking it off and taking it in. It doesn't work like that. That's where the authenticity piece comes in.
So fantastic discovery in this conversation that it changes every cell and DNA of yourself as an individual. You will not be the same again. I think that I can guarantee safely. So with that, it was a great conversation. Before we wind up, for those audience who would like to get in touch with you, what's the easiest way to reach Jaya?
Well, I'm available on LinkedIn. My website, I run a boutique organization called Abhyodaya. It's a Sanskrit
Great.
word. Abhyodaya means Abhya is sun, Daya means rise. So that's what Abhyodaya means. My website is abhyudayacoach.com. You can reach through that. You can reach through LinkedIn. I'm available on Facebook, Insta, everywhere. So it's just very easy to reach out, and very happy to have a conversation in case somebody like.
Sure. Thanks a lot for that detail, Jaya. So with that, this conversation comes to end. Thanks a lot to Jaya for joining in for this very high energy and deeply insightful conversation. Definitely, I'm the first beneficiary. I'm sure the audience have enjoyed it thoroughly. And if the audience has any comments and questions, please share it in the comment section. I myself or Jaya would definitely reply back, and that's a promise. If you have liked this conversation, please go ahead and hit the like. That's the way we get to know that you liked it, and share it with as many whom you feel will benefit from this conversation. And hit subscribe so that every time a video is uploaded, you will be notified. Until we meet again, please be safe and keep smiling. Happy times. And thanks a lot to Jaya once again for joining in today. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiran. Thank you for this platform.